Live from the Preston Highway Studios, it's 24-hour Purple People. And now here's your host, John Harper.
Well, hello and welcome to 24-hour Purple People. My name is John Harper. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you along for the ride today. All you record setters out there, welcome to another program. And what a night it was at Lynn Family Stadium last night, and we're going to talk all about all the fun that we had at the stadium. Just a tremendous night for Louisville City soccer as a whole, and of course getting a huge 1-0 victory over those pesky and sometimes rowdy, but not last night, Tampa Bay Bucks. Rowdies. Who are they again? I'm not really sure. Gentlemen, maybe you can explain who we defeated last night. I have a really short-term memory problem. So we will go to my panelists. Gentlemen, Ken and Matt, how are you guys doing on this lovely Sunday?
Well, hello, John. How are you?
Good. Kenneth?
I'm doing great. Actually, I'm doing fantastic. I've had a grin on my face all day long.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the way to do it, brother. That is the way to do it. Sunday Fun Day, and Fun Days are here again as we are all set for another delightful, close to an hour episode of 24-Hour Purple People. Another delight was last night at Lynn Family Stadium as we all set the attendance record, 14,673. And that's not a WWE attendance, folks. That is a legit number in the stadium. Guys, I have some highlights. They're not that great because not too much happened on our end, but it was a beautiful evening. They are lined up, not necessarily single file. People need to realize 6:30 gates are on the other side. Ken with this tremendous poster. Don't forget to like and subscribe the show while we're thinking about it. Joe won some swag at the tailgate. That was pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
This is my ascending from the song list shot here. Just beautiful to see the Asopanol Inn packed. Don't get to see that very often. Jack Harrow was in the house. I had to Google who that was this morning. And
you were close.
I'm kidding. So a great crowd, and things got started early for Tampa. They were really pressing very hard on Louisville City. Ken, what did you see early on in this matchup?
We did see a couple spurts from Tampa. I think they were definitely playing in a defensive set and looking for their chances to squeeze one in and then either play for the tie or play for a win on a low score. That seemed to be their game plan from the initial start, but once we started getting the ball, it really started to look good for us.
Matt, City attacking Brian Ownby seemed to be just everywhere last night, did he not?
That's Brian Ownby's game, right? That's where he's been for us all year. Just everywhere. I mean, the dude is relentless. It's wonderful to watch.
Absolutely it is. And playing a little bit unfamiliar territory. I like the fact that he was just chasing the ball all over the place. City was really attacking, like this little gesture here, not phasing the keeper of Tampa. Yeah, he was all over the place, and so was Wilson Harris, as you'll see a little bit later. There's our boy, Kyle Morton, collecting that 10th clean sheet of the season, gentlemen, last night. Tampa was continuing on the second half, trying to make some good runs. Louisville City making it more difficult. That was a tremendous opportunity, Ken, wasted by Tampa.
Yeah, so we talked about Wilson Harris getting player of the game, and we talk about Brian Ownby because he's all over the place. But I really saw a lot out of our midfield: Gonzalez, Bone, as well as who else was playing up there? Tyler Gibson. Those three right there really dominated the midfield and made our game go a lot better. They played a very high press. Gonzalez was pushing way up and just giving Tampa fits and unable to get the ball across midfield.
There it is, 14,673, and literally seconds after that was announced on the board, just a little moment lapse of just I'm trying to say just not a very good decision by the Tampa keeper, and Wilson Harris takes advantage of the situation, right, Matt?
I mean, this is the second game in a row that he's just outmuscled somebody and just dispossessed them and taken it in himself. I mean, you got to be on the lookout for that press if you're Tampa, and I know it's difficult to do for 90 straight minutes, but that's how long we're going to press you. So you got to be prepared for it.
No, absolutely. And, it was good to see that Louisville City seemed to be continuing on that very high pressure the whole game. And, on that highlight, you saw Brian Ownby chasing the ball around as Tampa just seemed to not be able to control it at times. As a matter of fact, Louisville City with tremendous possession, 62%. Ken, I'll kind of start with you a little bit more analysis of this game. Obviously, Phil the Fam and all the attraction around this game really says something for Louisville City to keep their composure in an atmosphere like last night.
I think they thrive on it. We had 23 points, percentage points in possession over Tampa, and Tampa likes to play a possession game. I think Coach Cruz managed the high press very well. It's amazing to see how long Ownby can go playing a high press, but then, of course, bringing Harris once they got kind of beat down a little bit to take advantage of that. Seems to be, what does he have, 4 goals coming off the bench or something like that? Seems to be something he's very good at.
Yeah, Matt, we saw Louisville City just really dominating in possession, something they don't normally do. And sometimes we've noticed over the past that when they dominate possession, they end up not winning the game, it seems like, or have a draw. But you got to be impressed with this. Again, Kyle Morton with that 10th clean sheet. Pretty dominant performance overall by Louisville City.
Yeah, we held them to no shots on target for the entire game, which is, crazy. This is a high-powered offense from Tampa. It's our 12th clean sheet, team clean sheet. Morton's had 10 of those, and then Danny Funday with the other 2. We've strung a whole game together. It's something to really be proud of if you're the boys in black and gold out there.
Yeah, I thought Louisville City looked pretty good, and rewatching a lot of the game today, Ken, I think they obviously the stats don't lie, dominating possession, but 11 total shots, and you talked about it last week. Tampa is a formidable opponent, a very solid team, and one that's sure to be around come postseason.
Yeah, they had a couple players that just couldn't get it going. I kind of called out Dos Santos because I figured he was going to be a handful, but he had a lot of errant passes. He was unable to get into position very well. So some of that got tampered down. Also, 2 players I did not mention yet. Manny Perez, when he gets that ball and he makes those cuts, he's an ankle breaker. It's unbelievable. It's fabulous. He's one of my favorite players on the season this year. And then, of course, Dia on the other side, doing fantastic work up and down as well. We talk a lot about our offense, a lot about our defense, but I really think it's the midfield that won this game yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Louisville City put out a Manny Perez highlight video yesterday, as a matter of fact. So that was pretty cool. Matt, any closing thoughts from this game? We saw Corbin Bone get the start after Niall McCabe apparently was injured in warm-ups.
Yeah, not something you like to see. But Bone came in and played admirably, right? He played really well.
60 minutes.
60 minutes. I think hats off to Danny Cruz for fielding a team that was dominant from the very beginning and for making some really key subs again. Yet again, Danny's great at putting people where they need to be when they need to be there, So, yeah, hats off to Danny Cruz as well. And hats off to the whole team they killed that game for like 30 minutes against a really good Tampa offense. So,
yeah, absolutely. As we discussed before, this is the 3rd occasion that Louisville City was up against the 2nd place team in the league. Previous matches against Pittsburgh on April 30th, Memphis 901 not too long ago at Memphis, and now there are only 2nd in overall points to San Antonio, which that's about where we've been for the last couple of weeks. But Louisville City definitely looking great. Danny talked about in the locker room how to match the intensity of this crowd and match the intensity of what we are bringing to the table as supporters, and they definitely did that, and the team should be very proud of the effort last night. Not easy to play, even as the home team, not easy to play with that much hype going into a game, and then walking out of that tunnel and seeing a packed house was just absolutely phenomenal. We're going to talk a little bit more about this attendance record and the black kits and the blackout in the crowd and all the black T-shirts and the heat absorption. No, we won't talk about that this week, I promise.
Yes, very important.
Yes. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on in the program this evening. Thank you guys for joining us in the chat today. We really appreciate it. The best man at my wedding is in there, Jeremiah. Hello, Jeremiah. All right. So
Look at that.
yeah. Well, it wasn't all fun and games for us, us Purple fans last week, as Racing had yet another draw. Not exactly what we wanted, but Ken, this game with Racing on Friday evening, 48 minutes down a player, 48 minutes down a player, and pulls out a draw against a Dash team that is on their way up. You know, they're getting better and better. The stats, terrible for Racing, absolutely terrible. But they pulled out a draw. So tell me how.
Context. First of all, my expert analysis last week, I said Rachel Daly would be a problem. Rachel Daly was absolutely no problem because she left for. I had no idea. I think I said that like before they announced it. So kind of lucky us, but it's still a really good team. What are they sitting at? Number 3 in the NWSL right now. They still have a fantastic team. You know, Nichelle Prince is a handful, and obviously we know Ebony Salmon. You know, so we knew she was going to play with everything she had as well. The stats are, I don't think, going to be reflective of what happened, because if you go down a player, then you're certainly going to have to soak up a lot of pressure, a lot of possession, a lot of shots, a lot of corners, all of that stuff. So, I mean, you'd have to look at it half by half. I thought we looked a little bit better, a little bit more organized in the second half when we were playing a player down. And, you know, we say we're going to play a high press, but I didn't see a whole lot of high pressing going on in either half. So I think there's still some issues. I'm pretty excited about I still don't know how to say her name. Shuang? Say that right? The Chinese player?
Yes.
Yes.
Say that right? Shuang? I want to say it right. Pretty excited about seeing how she's going to fit into the puzzle. Hopefully we can start to get that high press going.
Yeah, she looked good when she came on, and you know, for NWSL debut, a lot of butterflies in the stomach, obviously, on that one for the first Chinese player in the history of the NWSL. So that was exciting to see. You know, I was on my way home from Paducah. Mom had some surgery earlier in the week. Hi, Mom, love you. And but I literally turned on Paramount Plus and saw Satara Murray getting the red card. It was very deflating.
So it was you.
It was me. Gritty defending, but obviously not what you want to see, Matt. And the stats were something else you didn't want to see. Racing outshot 15-3. Yikes.
Houston was all over us from the very beginning. I thought it was another kind of lackluster start. And I thought, after watching in the very beginning of that match, I thought Houston had at least one goal in them. So, I mean, we were just starting to get our bearings a little bit, I thought, and started to play a little bit on the front foot when Murray gets that second yellow. So then that drastically changes your game plan, what you're trying to do within the game. But I thought gritty, I think, is a good word, right? Bjorkgren, after the game, said he was extremely proud of the fighting spirit. You wish that they could lend this sort of fighting spirit and grit to a game that's going to end in a win. But, in these circumstances, a draw is pretty admirable on the road.
Yeah, Ken, I agree with that. Do you agree with that under the circumstances? We talked about, Coach Kim was the one I think said we need to win 6 out of 7, right? Or 6 out of 8. Not the way we wanted to start at PNC, formerly BBVA Stadium. Not the way we wanted to start on Friday evening, right?
No, it's not. But if any other time and earlier in the season, you said we're going to go down and play the number 3 team and come away with a draw in Houston in the middle of summer, I said I'll take it. I'll take the point. But right now, I will not take the point. We need the win.
Yeah,
we need the confidence, We need to keep fighting, and we need to start getting wins.
Yep, absolutely. Now, on the happy stats of the game, Matt, Katie Lund, 9 saves. She has been unbelievable. There's without any question about that. Katie's just continuing to be an all-star for us.
Yeah, she's got some backup on the back line too. We've been really good with goal line clearances. We had another few against Houston, so we're starting to coalesce. I think a little bit, though we're not, defensive powerhouses yet. We are starting to coalesce a little bit, and that's even with Murray gone. So you see the progress. You just don't see the progress maybe on the stat sheet or maybe on the league table that you want to see, right? But actually watching the games, you do see progress. You see where we're getting better. So I guess we got to trust the process, right? I mean, it's the old adage.
Yeah, that's an adage that we, have been using over and over, it seems like, in these games. But
yeah,
I mean, you do have to persevere just like the players do, and just know that brighter days are ahead. While we're on the topic of racing, I would like to ask Ken. Ken, you went to a bar here in Louisville, the official Lavender Legion bar. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Tell us about your experience. How was the watch party there?
It was great. Lavender Legion is doing great things. I tell you what, they're really kind of stepping up as the supporters group for Racing FC. They've made a deal with Mile Wide Brewery, which is, where is it, down kind of near the zombie wasteland down by Baxter, kind of around the corner between Baxter and Broadway. It's kind of tucked behind, what is that, Diamonds, right?
Diamonds, yes.
Tucked behind Diamonds. It's a really big space. It has one TV, one projection TV. So
it's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. You can put a lot of people in it. Beer's good. They got pinball machines, so how could you go wrong? And they got pizza.
Really good pizza.
So Lavender Legion's going to do all away watch parties there, which is super cool. So I would really definitely recommend people go to the away games for racing at Mile Wide Brewery.
Yeah, looked like a pretty cool place. You sent us a couple of pictures, and definitely looked like a cool spot. So it's good to see that kind of stuff and those kind of connections being made. And even when our teams are away, it is always good to show up and support a local brewery, so, and meet some new friends and tie some yarn. That's how you do the scarn. All right. That's an Office reference. Okay, gentlemen.
You card yourself.
Can you card yourself?
What was that?
What
was that?
I should card
you
both.
You carded me for saying that?
No, I carded you for not knowing, or for bringing up the zombie wasteland again. All right. Well, no home game next Saturday for Louisville City. Racing will be at Lynn Family Stadium on Saturday. We'll talk about that momentarily. Louisville City, however, will be heading up north to Detroit. Detroit is up north, and they are 7th on the table currently. Matt, Detroit FC, the big talk of the USL and soccer world whenever they entered the league this year. But things haven't been going as well as of late. Matt, tell us a little bit about Detroit.
Not lately. So this is the second time that we'll have played Detroit this year, but the first time in league play. We beat them in penalties during the U.S. Open Cup this year, going up to Keyworth and beating them. I think it was 1-1, right? Was it a 1-1 game?
Yeah, 1-1. We won on penalties.
They're, they have some players to look out for, right? They've got Maxi Rodriguez, who is a great attacking player. They've got Connor Roots, Antoine Hopino, who we know all of what he can do, right? We've seen him at his best here in Louisville. Those guys we need to watch out for, but Detroit is really they've kind of fallen off a little bit recently. They've dropped some points. They're really good sort of in open field play when they're playing with some tempo. They're sort of running downhill a little bit, but in set and then holding possession, they're not as great. It's sometimes hard for them to find a guy they can sort of build through. They've only allowed 22 goals on during league play this year, which is good for like 5th best, I believe, in the league. But so maybe a low scoring game, but I look for us to get at least a point going up to Detroit.
Yeah. This is a team that definitely started, Ken, a little bit differently than they're setting right now at 7th on the table. Had a come from behind draw last night against Oakland at home. What do you see from Tampa? Seem to be a team that does keep the ball out of their net on the opposing end, only allowing that one goal per game this season.
I see nothing from Tampa, but Detroit, on the other hand, which is up north, right there.
I'm sorry, I
North.
still got last night on my
North.
mind. Sorry.
So Detroit's got a couple of risk factors here. First of all, it's a really hard place to go play because they are loud as fuck, just like we are. I know you're going to edit that out when you do the little burp, but they're loud. So it's hard.
And they say fuck.
They say that a lot, and they write it on their shirts and all of that. The other problem with Detroit is their field is teeny tiny. I am convinced it's not regulation by USL standards. Nobody seems to be able to answer this question, but I do not believe it is wide enough. They've made it as wide as possible to where you have like that much room for the players' benches before you hit this. It's a football stadium built in the 30s, so it's not wide enough for soccer. So what happens is everything kind of gets cluttered and there's no kind of room for us to kind of play our game. We're a better team. Detroit's problem right now, and they're plummeting in the standings, is they have an itty bitty roster. When they started the season, I think they had like 17 players or something crazy like that. And, once you get deep into the season, they had an Open Cup run. People are going to be getting injured. You're going to run out of players and talent. We are much more talented than they are, but they have that home field, really loud, tiny field advantage, which is a couple of risk factors for us.
Tiny field advantage will definitely be the name of the hot minute on that little segment you just had. That's excellent.
To sort of compound the personnel problems, right? The depth issue they've got. They're on the road actually in Birmingham, just 3 days before our match on Wednesday. So
yeah, they're going to be tired
more. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent
It's going
point.
to dictate a lot of how they play, for sure.
And Matt, we talked a little bit about this, but saying how they play, I mean, they're excellent passers. They cross the ball very well. Fatigue can definitely take a role in kind of combating that, as you just hinted on going down to Birmingham. How do you think that's going to affect the game on Saturday?
I think it's going to affect everything, right? It's going to affect who starts, who's coming off the bench. It's going to be, we press for pretty much a full 90, right? Like it's going to be hard to keep up with us in our pressure. I mean, it's going to affect everything. So we can go in and get one early, I think, and should be able to hold them off for most of the game, I would think. That's my prediction.
Yeah, they're a fighting club, and as Ken said, it is a hostile environment, to say the least. Not a regulation size hostile environment, but a hostile environment nonetheless. So we'll be looking forward to
get emails.
Yeah, you can send your postcards directly to. Detroit is a hostile environment, and as you guys said, I mean, they have some great support, crazy crowd. Cuss words on their shirts, and I mean they're really cool.
Players.
And I'm looking forward to it. That's my little, Carl. I was talking to Carl yesterday at the tailgate, and he said that he's going to Keyworth next Saturday. He said he really enjoyed his visit up there. He said they were really cool, buying them beers, all that kind of stuff. So,
hell yeah,
yeah. He's going to get a Airbnb in Hamtramck, which used to be kind of a iffy town because I'm from around there, but now it's like super cool Arabic town. Like all the storefronts are Arabic, and they have awesome food and super cool people. So I'm going to give him a couple places to go that I went to when I was up there for the Open Cup game, and he's going to get some shawarma and some real food. It's going to be awesome.
Nice.
Get your shawarma on. Okay. Well, we are looking forward to that matchup, and let's hope Louisville City can keep this ball rolling. Just an incredible run of games here for Louisville City. I mean, there's not much more you can say about it. It's just been overly impressive. And something that is also very impressive is the Women's World Cup, which is back in Louisville, starting today, actually. I say Women's World Cup, didn't I? Women's,
We knew what you meant.
Women's
Tampa.
Cup. Women's Cup. Shut up. A
Up north
cup.
in Tampa.
It's up north in Tampa.
You shut up too, Matt. The Women's Cup is back in Louisville. Last year, of course, Racing taking the inaugural cup, the Wario Memorial Trophy. I am really looking forward to the Women's Cup. It launched today. So, which one of you gentlemen, somebody chimed in and told me earlier. So, who won the match today earlier?
AC Milan beat Tokyo Verdy, and we will play AC Milan on August 17th.
Very good.
Just this Wednesday, yes.
So, Matt, I'll go ahead and just start with you. Tell me a little bit about the Women's Cup and some of these teams. We're seeing some international flavor, to say the least. It's great to see this happening in Louisville. Great for the city and the stadium, right?
Yeah, it's expanded a little bit this year. We've got 6 teams. We've got, I believe, 7 games played over the span of a week. This is the world's largest women's professional soccer tournament, like club competition in the world. So, really cool really cool way to showcase what we've sort of built here in Louisville. We'll play AC Milan. I believe it's at 8 p.m. On Wednesday.
Yeah,
this Wednesday. The other clubs that are participating, along with Tokyo, who will play again on August. Let me check my notes. August 17th, they'll play for 5th or 6th place. Also, Tottenham Hotspur and Club America, who are playing right now, I believe. Does anybody have a score on that?
I do not.
No? Okay.
Nobody
Well,
has
they're playing
access
right
to
now.
Google, apparently.
It's on upstairs. I just can't go up there.
Well, you can catch all the games on Paramount Plus if you have Paramount Plus, which I'm assuming you do because you watch racing, right? So you can watch all the games there. The winner of Tottenham and Club America will play OL Reign on the 17th. And then the winners between Racing and Milan and Hotspur America. OL Reign will go on to the final on August 20th, which is Saturday, I believe, right?
Yes. Correct.
Yes.
Armando. Nailed it. Ken, you were at the Women's Cup last year. It was a great event. A lot of media and publicity and international interest on this occasion for the city of Louisville, and definitely something that's very exciting to watch these teams.
Yeah, last year I recognized the potential of this thing. I said this thing can really grow into something really huge, and it's interesting that you brought up the point, Matt, that it's the biggest club international women's tournament in America, right? Is that what you said? You said something like that. But anyway, it's big.
It's big.
And there's no reason why I can't grow it because we have the right size stadium. We have the town that can kind of accept this international flavor type of stuff. And it's going to be excellent. I watched most of the Tokyo AC Milan game today. Tokyo is not a slot. I thought they were not going to be very good. They are very good. They are a possession team. I kind of wanted them to win because I kind of wanted to play them on Wednesday, but it's not going to work out like that. But Wednesday's a 3-game affair, so Rebecca's taking off work, and we're going to go down there and spend the day at the stadium watching all the teams play, which is going to be super cool. And we'll get some like seats in the shade and just kind of chill and watch the teams. I expect Tottenham to beat Club America, but you never know what's going to happen. You know, the thing about Club America is I think they're halfway through their season, and for Tottenham, this is a pregame. Our preseason match.
Yep.
Right.
So who knows what's going to happen? But we've got AC Milan. It's going to be it's not going to be an easy game. They have some very good players. Tokyo was actually winning, even though the score was against the run of play. But then when AC Milan kind of changed their system and they brought on these, they have twins playing on their team, which was very interesting. They really kind of changed how the play was going and began to dominate Tokyo. So I think we're going to have our work cut out for us on Wednesday.
Katie chimed in. Club America is currently up 2-0 over the
I have a
Spurs.
terrible fucking analysis.
Wow.
Rachel
Wow.
Daly's on the team too. Yay.
Yeah. Also, earlier, Ken, you said it's the world's largest in the world in reference to the Women's Cup.
I was just
In
it's
the
really big.
world.
It's huge. It's huge.
And you gave me a lot of shit about Tampa and not saying Detroit.
Yeah.
So here you go. Enjoy that one. Yep, you're welcome, Matt. Matt,
I don't
I'll
know
let
why
you.
I'm excited.
Yeah, well, you get to talk for 1 minute without being interrupted. And Ken is again leaving the set here. Oh no,
It's a dance party.
Oh, he's got a strobe light. Somebody stop this man. We'll carry on. Matt,
Did you go to Spencer's Gifts to get that? Where do you get a strobe light from?
they're not easily available anymore.
Oh.
I'm surprised that strobe light is not in the camper van already.
Well, yet.
Yes.
That's the missing piece that we need in that camper.
I mean,
between those giant speakers.
Yes, that he doesn't know how to turn down all the time, but that's okay. I'm glad his headphones are plugged in because he can't hear me right now. I don't think so.
Yeah,
he's gonna turn his strobe light off. Yeah. So it is definitely an exciting. Welcome back to Earth, there, Ken.
Were you gone? We didn't notice.
I think you're muted. The
I am not.
yeah. Oh no, you're not. You're not.
The lights are staying on.
Matt would like to know if you got the strobe light at Spencer's Gifts.
Oh, probably.
Nice.
Isn't that where you get them?
Yeah.
That's
the number one distributor in the world.
That's what keeps them in business.
As far as I know.
The question is, why do I have strobe light? That's a more
Yeah.
important.
It was kind of all rolled into that one question, I think.
Yeah, okay.
That and soft porn sex toys. All right, let's move on. Last subject of
Charge
the
yourself.
day. I can't. It's not physically possible on the streaming device we are using. Don't push me, Ken. You can get multiple red cards a show. I'll make you keep. I'll make you keep dancing around there. Wear you out.
I won't take it. I'll die.
All right. Please don't die. At least wait till after the show.
Please don't die. Please don't.
We
We had another topic, right, John?
We do have it. It's coming. It's coming. I wanted to circle back. See what a historic night it was for Louisville City last night. As we alluded to earlier in the program, you had close to 15,000 people in the stands, and the team had announced 13,700 tickets sold. So that was almost 1,000 standing room only, which I think is probably the most impressive thing when it comes to the attendance. Truly a special night in Louisville. Just a great crowd, great atmosphere, very loud. Ken, favorite thing about last night with this crowd and this situation with the Feel the Fan? What did you enjoy the most, other than the win?
The vibe is back. We talked about, maybe we talked about how we've kind of felt like we've lost the vibe that we used to have in Slugger, right? The kind of tailgate, going to the match, just kick-ass kind of vibe that we had at games. Talked about it with a couple people. We feel like the vibe came back last night. The tailgate was off the hook. It was like tailgates of old. I pulled up around, 1:30. And Ryan, I don't know if you know him, he wears a kilt. He's bald. He wears leather things on his, right? It was his bachelor party. So all of his, I guess you'd call them groomsmen, although they were all kilted and painted up. So maybe groomsmen's too gentleman-like to call them. But at 2 o'clock, they were going hard. And they wanted me to really start turning on the bangers. And I was like, it's 2 o'clock. You're not going to make it. We're going to do that later. But we really started to have a great time. They had a charity auction. The Louisville City Ladies and the Coopers raised $733 for Eastern Kentucky flood relief. So kudos and hats off to everybody that was involved in that.
Yeah.
I brought a table and then I was grumpy about it for the rest of the day. But they ended up raising a lot of money, so it worked out well. And then just the amount of people was completely awesome.
It was definitely awesome. Matt, when we look at the history of Louisville City attendance, we see This is the highest attended game. Actually beat the 2017 championship game. What does this mean for Louisville City and the city of Louisville as far as the soccer scene?
I mean, it's huge, not just for the team and not just for the city. It's huge for the league, right? And the sport in general. I mean, if you look at a list of like the top 5 attended matches in America, we're on it, right? It's not just our level, right? I mean, we're right up there with other MLS teams and stuff like that. Like, it's absolutely huge. And hats off to I know we give the front office a ton of shit, right? But hats off to the front office for really making this push. Hats off to the ticketing department, LFS staff. Just hats off to everybody who made this happen. And hats off to everybody for going, right? I mean, we killed that game for 30 minutes, right? And I think it's going to be a lot more difficult with that kind of atmosphere, right? Like, we added to it, right?
No.
We helped the team.
No doubt.
Well, I didn't because I wasn't there. But you guys added to it. You helped the team.
Yep.
You shared in that win, and hopefully this is the first of many games that big. I want to see. I mean, how great would it be if every game was that well attended, right? I mean, it's not all that it's not that crazy, right? Turn on Premier League, turn on leagues around the world, turn on some MLS games. You're going to see games that are that well attended every single week. I want to be in that club, you know. I want to be in that crowd of well attended games. So let's hope this is the first of many.
Yep. Yeah, you're exactly right. Kudos to all the supporters that came out last night. Boom. Love you, Matt. You know, Matt did bring up a great point, though. You know, it does really, it's an interesting thing, and we should give props to the front office and give props to everybody that was involved with helping fill the fam, because it takes some effort at times to get things going in the right direction. Now, here is the best part of this, and the best part of my night was, no, not Jack Harlow. The best part of my night was just thinking about that we probably had, I'm just guesstimating, 4,000 new people in the house, maybe. Okay. 4,000 people that maybe they've seen Louisville City, but they hadn't seen them since the Slugger Field days. They caught wind of this through the multiple media outlets that Louisville City was working with, whether it be the news. It was getting plugged on social media by more than just the team. So they did their part. We did our part. Ken, the most exciting thing to me, though, was thinking of the 3,000, 4,000 newbies that were in the stadium, the potential of having them coming back and getting addicted to what was just an incredible atmosphere.
Yeah. So something interesting happened. As you know, I play like super loud, crazy music off my van at the tailgates. So I was like building and building and building. When people started lining up at the stadium, it was probably a lot of new people. And you showed the pictures of the crowds and the lines coming off the gates there. Well, I had turned my speakers so far up that people had like gotten sick of the super loud music, and they turned it around and they had faced it to all of the people standing in the stadium. Of course, I didn't know this, and I was playing whatever the fuck I want, which is a little bit scary to think of what they heard coming on my speaker. But I think,
hope you like Lady Gaga, folks.
I think it was like club bangers, man. It was like it was like just this intensity moment from all of those new people just going into the stadium, and just 100 miles an hour the whole time. Fantastic. The Estopano end was full from top to bottom. There was no extra spaces to be had, and it was loud. And we had strategically placed retired capos in the stands to help bring up the crowd in strategic places. That was purposeful. You talked, John, about everybody kind of doing the thing, right? That the FO had a part, the Louisville City tailgaters had a part, the Coopers had a part, the Capos had a part, the Groove Machine had a part, Scouts' House had a part, the Louisville City Ladies had a part. It's all this kind of well-oiled machine that built this kind of culmination moment that we had for the club, and I was just buzzing, all night long and all day today on, this is the kind of vision that I had 8 years ago when we first started talking about this thing before we had a team. This is as close to the kind of European soccer experience that I lived with in Germany for a few years that we've ever achieved here. Fantastic.
Well, that's saying a
Hell
lot.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Damn, I'm hyped now. You got me buzzed.
Yeah. I should circle around to I want to hit up the chat for a second. Katie said it felt like the old days. Rebecca said, great turnout. Katie said they were dancing in line. So there you go, Ken.
Yeah. I'm glad they couldn't understand the words.
Good. It's good.
Jay Bennix, glad to have you back. He says, or she says, I'm not really sure. It was awesome. I think it's a he. Setting in 211, the Cooper's chants were extending to ours and the surrounding section. So thank you for letting us know that, because one thing about what capos do and stuff is we're not sure how it sounds on the other sides of places because we're not in two places at once. So we want to know how that kind of works. So that's awesome. I noticed that when we were doing the, excuse me, call and response with, City, come on, you boys in purple. Man, that was, it was a wall of sound coming out of the stuff when I end on that song, on that chant.
Hell yeah.
Like it really was like, I actually like stopped for a second and it was like, wow, like in between the calls and responses. That was great. Absolutely great. And, just on all the songs, Glenn had texted and said, sounds amazing on TV, and listening back at it today, it did sound amazing. Rebecca wants to know who doesn't like Lady Gaga.
We all want to know them.
So yeah, it was a great turnout. Thoughts on the black kit? We talked a lot about the black kit, seeing it in action, if you will. I'll just quick answers from both of you. Matt, how'd you think it looked?
They're gorgeous. Those numbers, they're so shiny. They really, watching it back, it really convinced me to buy one. So good job. You did your job.
Ken, what about you?
I'm not a kit guy, but it was fire. I mean, that's for sure. I might even have to break down and get myself a new crested kit. Gold. We'll see.
I wish you would, because you do need to get a new crested.
I tell you what, I did find out is that my old Louisville City kit, that's the black and purple one, that's my favorite, and my old Louisville City No Star black T-shirt, for some reason they've sat in my closet and shrunk. I don't understand it. They've just been.
God, my clothes do that all the time.
They got smaller. It's like weird.
The worst.
Is it the humidity or something?
It's got to be, man. It's got to be.
So here's what's funny about this joke. He says this to me yesterday at the tailgate, this little thing he's got, right? And I'm just like sitting there going, huh? And then he's like,
the humidity.
Yeah, you said something about the humidity, and I was like, well, never heard of that happening. Just wasn't really thinking. Yeah.
How many of you had at this point, John? Like, were you?
No, like 2 or 3, maybe.
I've been 2 or 3 of the good stuff. I don't know.
I drank
You're
like
falling for that.
Yesterday. I was all water yesterday. I drank like 4 beers yesterday. I was like, wow. When I got home, I was like, ooh, it's special bourbon time because we won.
Yeah, you were more sober than I remember you seeing.
Special bourbon.
Still bring the ruckus.
I like to be able to, make it through the whole game and kind of remember so that I can talk intelligently on this thing.
Yeah, my drinking strategies have changed over the years at Louisville City games for sure. I've adapted as I've gotten older.
I'm still loud as fuck though. That's not gonna
that's
change.
good.
Yep, that's what you got to be. It was great. Ken, big props to you for the words that you put out.
The words.
The words.
Too,
so
what are the words?
Kudos.
Yeah, I missed some songs evidently, and they were like too long or it's too much work or something like that. So I put like version 1 on it. So if anybody wants to help do it again, a couple months, update the song list, we could do like version 2.
What songs? What songs are not in there?
Maybe some of the call and response stuff. I think that and
what are the calls and responses?
From Burn to Maine to Butcher Town. That one.
2 stars.
Yeah, 3 stars. I think I missed that one.
That's actually 2 on that one, but
3 stars. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
I see. You're talking about the other song. Okay, gotcha. The Ruby Soho, yeah.
I have no idea if it helped. I got a lot of good feedback that people were really interested in it. Whether or not it was a useful product for people, I don't know. But people were loud, so I'll take that as yes.
Yeah, they were very, very loud. Yeah, it was just tremendous. I think if I had to, let's see. I mean, I think everything really went just about as perfect as it could go. The post-game fireworks show, we've never had that at Lynn Family Stadium. That was actually ours. We've sometimes claimed sluggers. Like, oh, it's not a coincidence. But yeah, just tremendous job by everybody at Soccer Holdings, right? Everybody that is employed, and that's their job, to make a fun environment and an exciting environment that sometimes, frankly, we take for granted. So I think that we should be very, very thankful of them. And I, for sure, just absolutely loved it. And we hope everybody out there enjoyed it that went to the game. And, best thing of all, we got the 1-0 victory over Tampa Bay, and we're moving on. So that's very exciting as well. We want to take a second and thank everybody for joining us in the chat this evening. Don't forget, you can look us up in many different ways. We are now on Instagram, although we don't know how to use it, and, of course, Facebook and Twitter. And please like and subscribe and do all that fun stuff. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more content. We really appreciate that as well. Guys, I can tell you, today felt so much different than coming out at any other Louisville City game, because of the fact that there were so many people there, and it was just, an experience that I won't ever forget. And I still got that purple high going today. It's just like really cool. Yeah. But we did accidentally pop 2 white smokes on the capo stand.
We had a new pope or something. So I took a picture of it, and then I sent it to John last night, like 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, did we get a new pope?
I blame Carl for that one. Okay. Any closing thoughts, gentlemen, on tonight's episode, or anything coming up, or whatever you want to say?
I got something. Natalie Simon. Does that name ring a bell? Good. She was the ref last night. And I thought, I rewatched the game. I thought she did a good job. I thought, we're going to complain about calls just because we're homers. But she managed the game really well. She issued a couple of yellow cards around 30 minutes and 40 minutes, but she didn't have any problems for the rest of the game. Very well managed game. She's one of only 4 kind of top qualified FIFA refs that we have. FIFA refs, what do you want to call them, that we have in America. So we do a lot of complaining and lamenting about the refereeing, but I think in this case, it was done very well.
Yeah, Katie agrees with that. I can't wait for FIFA 23 to come out. Matt, any closing thoughts or anything you'd like to discuss about today's episode?
No, I'm good. I think I nailed it first round, so I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's about all we'll talk about today. I think we're going to wrap things up. Again, thanks for everybody that was in the chat, and we hope that you continue to join us on Sundays and join us at the next match. Let's keep selling out the fam. And don't forget, racing has a Fill the Fam coming up very soon as well. So for Ken Luther, Matt Dalton, my name is John Harper. We will see you next week. We are 24-hour Purple people. We love you guys. See you, Purple Fam. Have a great week. Bye-bye, everybody.